Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dum dum, dum dum, dum dum. I'm feeling good. Dun dun. Nice. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Hello, and today we're back for some Bundesliga predictions. This time for Matchday 27 of the 2020-21 season. It's a big week this week, and I shall tell you why, and that is because I think it's called the Der Klassiker. I don't even know at this point, but it is RB Leipzig versus Bayern Munich. A big game, whatever you call it. And ultimately, it sees the two title challengers head to head. It's massive for the season. And a massive development we got from the international break. Robert Lewandowski is out for 4 weeks. He didn't play against England. He won't play for Bayern Munich this weekend. And Bayern will have to try and get their game and, go with it and cast their wits upon Leipzig without their main man. So be interesting to see how they adapt to that. But we are going to be doing predictions today. And to start off with, we have got a game in this game week. So that was the song of the weekend, and it was Feeling Good by Michael Bublé. The colour of the weekend, I'm feeling a little bit of light blue. And the theme of the weekend, well, it can only be one thing really, and that is Easter. It's coming up, people. Good Friday tomorrow. But let's get into my predictions for this week. So Augsburg are taking on Hoffenheim in the first game. And I just fancy Augsburg to find a way through here. Augsburg 1, Hoffenheim 0. Then we've got RB Leipzig against Bayern Munich. And it's going to be a massive game, obviously, for the title race. And it could swing either way, There's plenty of chance of it ending in a multiple different number of ways, but one thing is for sure, it will be a thriller. So I'm saying lots of shots from both teams, lots of action, but Leipzig 1, Bayern Munich 1. And goal scorers on the day, the player linked with Liverpool, he might not go, as it seems now, but I think he'll get the opening goal, and it's Ibrahima Konate. And then the equaliser comes for the title holders, Bayern Munich, and that comes from Serge Gnabry. All right, now we've got Dortmund against Frankfurt. And if Bayern Munich do slip up at RB Leipzig, then they'll be really, really determined to get a massive win to rub the salt in the wounds. And I do think that Dortmund will be fairly able to do that. At home, it's at Frankfurt. You'd fancy them. Frankfurt have been not bad this season, but Dortmund, they've really struggled at times, and it's been individual players that have been getting them through, but they're still a class team with Sancho. Yeah, he didn't play in the international break, but will he be back? I don't know. Haaland, though, is just absolutely insane, and with Sergio Aguero leaving Manchester City, could Haaland be on his way to the Etihad? Well, we'll have to find out, but the main thing is he's still going to be fighting for his club and fighting to get some goals. He didn't get any of those in the international break, and that was all thanks to a great performance from the Leicester centre-back, Kaglar Soyuncu. But I'm going to go for Dortmund 4, Frankfurt 1. And then it's Wolfsburg against Köln. And I fancy a home win. I think Köln, they've been pretty solid this season, to be fair. But Wolfsburg have been absolutely fantastic. They've really exceeded a lot of expectations and pushing for Champions League football. That's where they probably would have wanted to be it. So right now, I don't think Wolfsburg fans can complain. So Wolfsburg 2, Köln 0. Then it's Bayer Leverkusen against Schalke. Now Schalke, I do fear for you right now because you're just dropping like a stone. It's just every week it looks like it's a negative result, and this is not going to get any easier. Away to Bayer Leverkusen, they're a very good side, and they're going to be wanting to really put a few past Schalke here. So we'll say Bayer Leverkusen 3, Schalke 0. Then it's Mainz taking on Arminia Bielefeld. and you'd fancy Mainz just because Bielefeld, they're just not a strong enough squad, unfortunately. They have had a real go at it this season, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. So Mainz 2, Arminia Bielefeld 0. Then it's Gladbach against Freiburg. This could be a tighter game. Recently, Borussia Mönchengladbach have really struggled with their form. Freiburg, they've been up in the top half of the table for most of the season, but it's whether they can keep it up and get some decent results against big teams like Borussia Mönchengladbach. They are, all things considered, a big team, but they've not really been delivering this season, Gladbach. So I think they're going to carry on with that kind of frustrating form, and I'll say Gladbach 0, Freiburg 0. And our penultimate game is Stuttgart against Werder Bremen. And Werder Bremen, they're in the battle of their lives to stay up. I think they should maybe do it. At this point, it's anyone's guess, because we know with the Bundesliga, it can be unpredictable. But there's just a matter of how many? I'll tell you. It's 8 game weeks to go. So it's all going to be, hands to the pump to try and stay up. But at the minute, Werder Bremen look like they might just be able to do that. 26 games played, and they're currently sitting on 30 points, which crucially is right now 8 points ahead of the first team that would get relegated. Köln are in that position, taking up the playoff spot for the relegation fight. So ultimately, they should be able to get a win here, Werder Bremen, but I don't know. It's the sort of game you can see Stuttgart winning. They have had a much better season than Werder Bremen. But we'll go for Stuttgart 2, Werder Bremen 1. And finally, we have Union Berlin against Hertha Berlin. The clash of the Berlins. It's a big derby, really. But when you look at Hertha Berlin's position, they're certainly the ones that need it more. Whereas Union Berlin are sitting quite pretty, I should say, or fairly pretty, in 7th position. They're trying to get Europa League, but it's also going to be a big battle with teams like Freiburg and Leverkusen and Dortmund. But ultimately, it will be interesting to see who gets the win in this game. I'm just fancying the home team. I think Hertha Berlin defensively, they've had a bit of an issue this season, and they could still get dragged into that playoff for relegation. So I'll say Union Berlin 3, Hertha Berlin 1. And that wraps up my predictions for Matchday 27 of the Bundesliga. Make sure you enjoy that massive game between Leipzig and Bayern Munich this weekend. And comment down below your score predictions. It's going to be 3 points for the correct result, then 5 for the correct goal difference and the result, and 8 for the correct scoreline. But yeah, smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe, and let's see how Bayern Munich can do without their main man, Lewandowski. But thanks for watching. I shall see you next time for some La Liga predictions.